Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tablas Creek Instagram Live conversation. I am your host, proprietor Jason Haas. My guest this week is Matthieu Perrin. So, of course, the Perrins are our partners here at Tablas Creek. Matthieu is the one of the fifth generation members of his family to rejoin the family business, and has a range of cool responsibilities, from obviously the collaborative pieces of Beaucastel and Famille Perrin through the work that he is spearheading in the United States on Miraval Rosé, on Beaudomaine skincare, on the Gardener Gin. So I am excited for you to meet Matthieu, if you have not yet. But while we wait for people to join, as I always do, I want to share a few pictures with what is going on here at the winery. You can see that it is like beautifully sunny right now. That is probably the end of a long stretch where it's been really gorgeous. You can see like just how green it is out there in the vineyard. We're supposed to get a change in the weather pattern this weekend. It's supposed to get wet again, which is great. It is time for it to be wet. But it is giving us a head start on getting our flock of sheep out into the vines. I have a few pictures of them looking happy here. So they have been doing rotations out through the vineyard. We've gotten through most of the blocks one time, which is a huge luxury in December. And that's all because of the early rain that we got in October and November this year. In the winery, we have been working on bottling. We had a bottling run last week, end of last week, where we bottled 3 whites. I'll show you those 3. They are our 3 Roussanne-based whites. So the varietal Roussanne, the Esprit de Tablas Blanc, and our first ever Panoply Blanc. So that is super exciting. We've been offering that out through our Futures program. The Esprit Blanc will go out next spring to Wine Club members, Panoply Blanc next fall. So keep your eyes on those release emails. We have also been bottling up our olive oil for the year. So we know that our olive oil was out of stock briefly in the run-up to the holidays, which is not ideal because we know it's a great gift. But it's back in stock now because we hustled and got it bottled on Monday. What else? Have any other pictures? Anything else exciting? A picture of a big hawk sitting on one of our poles on top of the L box. I always love this like multi-purpose raptor housing. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to invite Matthieu to join me, and hopefully this will all work as smoothly as it did during our test. Just sent through the invitation. Hey, Matthieu.
Bonjour, Jason.
Bonjour, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here. It's not going to be beautiful. Sadly, my sister and her family are coming out on Sunday right as the weather is supposed to turn, and we're supposed to get like 10 days of rain.
Okay.
But they're not thrilled about that, but the vines will be happy.
Thank you for your invitation. Pleased to be there with you and to have this discussion, right?
Excellent. Cool. Okay, so I gave everybody a very quick introduction. It might have been before you joined. So among the other things that you do, you are 5th generation of your family at Beaucastel. Your partner at Tablas Creek. You are the point person for Famille Perrin's U.S. operations on the Gardener Gin and Beaudomaine and Miraval. Did I miss anything?
Well, we are. I mean, it's not me alone. I mean, we are a family, yes. I think it's unique in the world of wines. We are 9, cousin, sibling, father, uncle working together. Well, it's a lot of Perrin. You know, we love to say when we are talking about Famille Perrin, family is as much important as Perrin, because we are a true family winery, 5th generation. And sometimes, you know, between cousins, brothers, we forgot our first name, but it's not a problem. You know, people can be confused sometimes because the family is the strength of what we have done since 5th generation.
Yeah. So you obviously grew up surrounded by wine. I wonder, did you always know that you wanted to make wine your career?
Well, we were very lucky. I mean, let's be honest, with my brothers, to grow up in a beautiful place which is named Châteauneuf-du-Pape. We were living at Chateau de Beaucastel and were born and raised there, right? And for us, it was not a winery. And my grandmother, Marguerite Perrin, the wife of Jacques, was just living next door to us. And for us, it was not a winery. It was really the family house where we have, lunch, dinner when we were playing all together. So, well, we never really understood what's happening in this place. It was a lot of joy, always a lot of families coming over there, brothers, cousins, sometimes, guests, clients. But well, for us, it was just visitors, people who came to share something, a dinner or lunch with us. So, well, it never came in our mind to think about what we can do. Of course, when you grow up, you start to understand the chance that you have.
Right.
And and I love to answer to your question by when you are baby, you want to do exactly what your parents are doing, right? When you get a teenager, getting older, you want to travel and go everywhere in the world. And finally, when you are lucky, you have the chance to travel and get older and get experiences. Yes, you start to understand that your family history is it's unique, and maybe in a very humble way you can, if you can join the family and be part of the history that you share with your brothers and cousins.
And I know for one of the things that the family believes in is encouraging the new generations to go out and do something else and then come back to the family business with more experience. What was your path?
Well, well, I've been doing a business school myself in Burgundy, because, well, I thought it was a good way to be in Burgundy and to study business. Maybe for the future, it's a good idea, right? And I really wanted to travel. I really wanted to discover new places. So I went to China almost 20 years ago to do a university over there, business university. When I started to learn a little bit of Chinese, of course, I forgot everything since since that. And I was really, very, very, yeah, falling in love about this place. It was when China was growing up. It was before the Olympics game and everything. So I decided to come back over there to work for a distributor. And after I went to US, doing different experiences, and I joined the family company 17 years ago now
Okay.
already.
Amazing. I can't believe it's been 17 years.
Yeah, me too.
Um, so I wonder, like, I remember hearing my parents talk about wine around the dinner table when I was probably, I don't know, 15, 16, 17. Hearing them talk about the places and the people and make each other guess what a wine was. And I remember thinking, I will never be able to do that. Like, I can't imagine being able to taste a wine and know where it's from. I wonder, did you ever have any like worries on your end that about your ability to just step into the business?
Well, not really. I mean, we never think about that. I mean, you have to do your own experience and make success, maybe make failures, and obviously you learn from that. For us, we it has been always a part of our everyday family lunch or dinner, to share experience and be curious. Well, I remember, well, when your father, for example, was there in Beaucastel and everything, and well, or when we had journalists, for example, we used to have dinner and to share a family dinner with journalists, right? And we were part of that, where we had always wines around the table. And since we were very young, we were able to smell, maybe to taste a little bit. And during the weekend, we play a lot, and I do that still with my kids. Where we were doing like a blind tasting of yogurt,
Yeah.
and with my kids. And I remember doing the same with my parents, trying to find if it's a yogurt, apricot yogurt, strawberry. And well, when you are kids, you just want to play. And I
Yeah.
think wines, you know that you don't know anything, right? You always have to learn. And so just need to develop your curiosity, probably. And still today, I mean, we always every day we learn something about wines and testing new things.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's great.
well, so I never feel this pressure at all, for sure.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that I really loved, the summers that I got to spend um, at Beaucastel, and is sitting around that table with all of the parents and everyone encouraged to have an opinion, and everyone arguing, and everyone excited, and everyone. It was really, for me, it was just an amazing experience to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's not very boring most of the time. It's very loud, and everybody has something to say. Whatever you age, you are part of this party.
That's great. So, what is your area of responsibility within the family? Because obviously everyone is a partner and is involved to a certain extent in everything, but you also have specialties.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we are seven now from the new generation running the wineries. And well, since the beginning, being seven, it's not easy because, of course, we are from the same family, but we have to create something and to pass the baton to the next generation in the better conditions that we receive it. And so we have, and it's something that we learn a lot from Jean-Pierre and François. It's something a family company needs to bring innovation. To still be a family. You don't have to look on the past. Of course, you have to be very traditional, but you have to look to the future also in the way of you develop things. And so probably a difficulty at the first beginning, being seven all together in the same place, we developed new project, new wineries, and just by passion, just because when you are seven, you have always one which came with new ideas. And so, well, quickly we try to share responsibilities between family. So by that, everyone can bring and manage different parts of the distribution of winery, and to keep the philosophy, the family philosophy at every stages. I have a lot of admiration about people who are just, well, like you, by the way, right? To be one people and be able to be everywhere. And I think, by being seven, like that, we have always one member of the family in the vineyards, in the cellar, in the distribution, and the philosophy of the Perrin probably stayed. And regarding my responsibility, well, I'm more on the sales side, my side. I'm still in charge about Europe, but I went to US 3 years ago to develop new project over there and to manage the new distribution of Miraval also now in the US.
Yeah, so you've lived in New York the last 3 years with your family. Can you talk about how that experience has been? Do your kids speak like a New Yorker now?
Yeah, not like me. I mean, I know that you, with my French accent, I don't feel like I'm living in New York, right? But yes, my kids are very impressive. They are like sponge, right? They are been for 3 years over there, and so well with the rest of the family, after the COVID, US has been always very important for us in the market side. And we have always our earth in the US, with everything we have accomplished over there, with Vineyard Brands, with you. And it was the right time for maybe coming over there, professionally and also personally, to have somebody from the family. look over the operation in US. And so, well, it was in the same times that we decided to launch a new project, which is in the Straits, by launching the Gardener Gin. And well, we thought maybe US can be a good opportunity, and having somebody from the family take over this responsibility in the same times. It was a good idea. So yes, we came 3 years ago, and it's fantastic. And
Amazing. So, I want to go back to Gardener Gin. That's a very new project. I want to go back to an early project. So, in a world where lots of wines are struggling, La Vieille Ferme, which is a 50-year-old brand with a name that Americans find almost impossible to pronounce, has become this incredible success and sensation. Um, I guess what has it been like having that, like, the chicken wine phenomenon and seeing that play out over the last year or two?
well, yes, it's a brand which from 1964. It's a
Wow.
brand that my grandfather Jacques bought well, a long time ago. And well, it's one of the few brands which are made by a family of winemakers, in Chateau de Beaucastel. And obviously, when we made it, we never imagined the success that we have today. But as you have haute couture wines with Beaucastel, we thought maybe we can do prêt-à-porter with La Vieille Ferme. It's like you love to go to the three-star Michelin restaurant and having a beautiful glass of Beaucastel 89, but you enjoy the same sometimes to go to the bistro of the Michelin restaurant and having a tartare with a French fries. And La Vieille Ferme has been always the bistro wines of the Michelin star restaurant. It was very much the idea with very simple concept. I'm pretty sure, if we had to launch a brand today, we'll never launch it like we have done, 60 years ago. With La Vieille Ferme, V-E, oh, it's very, very difficult to pronounce it. But it's a simple wine, red, white, rosé. Um, and we try to keep kind of authenticity and make no compromise about quality. And well, again, I mean, it's a chance that we have. For example, Pierre, my cousin, is every day, doing the sourcing, blending, tasting everywhere. And believe me or not, I mean, we don't have any bottle. We go out from the cellar with quality. I mean, it's a really one of the pillar of La Vieille Ferme more than 30 years now. And well, that's has been booming the last years. I think, well, with the transition of more expensive wines to more everyday wines, I think the food has changed also. People are probably sharing still the same dinner, but having different food. And La Vieille Ferme is quite versatile for that.
Right.
And well, thanks to the social media, people call that chicken wines. So well, that's fantastic. I mean, and well, we are proud as much as we do for the Châteauneuf-du-Pape in Beaucastel, as much that we do for La Vieille Ferme. For us, at the end of the day, is one family and no compromise about quality. It's our
Yeah, it's
mission.
really, it's amazing, really, that like one operation can make Hommage à Jacques Perrin and can make La Vieille Ferme in cans and have them all be really good and have them all have a place in the market.
We had a discussion last time with my father about that, and when we launched La Vieille Ferme 60 years ago, it was for people in the wine business not very well pursued, to come from a chateau and to make a négoce brand. I mean, you were from a chateau wines, Bordeaux, Rhône, Burgundy, whatever it is. But make a brand, it was not considered as very serious if you came from a chateau. So, well, you have people from the brand business and people from the chateau. And we thought maybe we can join both with La Vie Ferme, bring the experiences that we have since fifth generation with Beaucastel to make exceptional wines, but more for everyday consumption. And I think it's why probably people like so much La Vie Ferme, because they understood the authenticity and the simplicity behind the brand like that. I think it's the ultimate sophistication is the simplicity. I think David Shingot say. So, well, this is a little bit the idea behind.
Cool. Okay, so I'd love to talk a little bit about the project of renovating and reinventing the building at Beaucastel. So it was what 4 years of construction. Um, but I got to visit about a year ago, and I was just blown away by how beautiful it was, how traditional it was, and yet how progressive and thoughtful and modern it was. I don't know. I would love you to describe the idea behind the design and share a little bit about your thoughts on it.
Well, well, yeah, it's been one of the projects that we have been managing with our family. It's a project of life, we say, because it's something absolutely unique. And when my grandmother, Marguerite Perrin passed away, our grandmother, she was the wife of Jacques Perrin, and she was the pillar of the family, and she was a woman who bring all together and bring joys and so she was living at the winery, and we try all during these times, since Jacques Perrin passed away, to protect her intimity, her personal life, and her house, which is very much in the center of the winery. And again, I mean, instead of looking to the past, when she passed away, we thought maybe we have to think about the Beaucastel in 50 years. And we are very lucky to have a grandfather, Jacques, who was a very visionary guy. And, well, when you come in Beaucastel, we spend our time to speak about his vision, about organic farming, about Mourvèdre, about Roussanne. And he is really, most of the philosophies that he implements at this time, we still follow it today. So, of course, it's very inspiring for us. And we thought maybe we can do a renovation of Beaucastel by taking some risk and thinking about what should be Beaucastel in the next 50 or the next centuries, let's say. Not to impress journalists or clients or whatever, but in a very humble way, hopefully, if we may do that well, to impress our son or grandson when they can do the visits, in 50 years. So it has been very simple. At the beginning, it looked very simple, but it took a lot of time. And all the idea was to rebuild Beaucastel with our own terroir, own soul, to use the earth of Beaucastel to aging and making wines in the earth. So we use all the clay and with no iron, so it's very natural process and probably one of the most sustainable winery you can visit right now. And sometimes, by using all this clay, limestone, gallet, and all of the things that we have naturally all around us, we can also keep the water in the soil. Because while living in south of France with the global warming, obviously it's a challenge. And we are every day probably the people who are more affected about the global warming and which have to adapt.
Right.
And we try to adapt Beaucastel for the future to be ready to make better wines, more fresh, more elegant, whatever the weather conditions. So we have been rebuilding all the wineries like that. We did a contest of architecture for that, and we have been very inspired by fantastic architects which brings this idea. His name is Bijoy, from Studio Mumbai, from India, and he brings ancestral culture, ancestral architect to imagine together with the families the Beaucastel of tomorrow.
And it is beautiful. It is both traditional, and the materials they feel like they all come from the earth. I have this vision of this powerful sorcerer just sort of raising this building out of the ground. It feels like it is made from the land that's there.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to explain because, well, it's very about sensation. It's very poetic, philosophic, and sustainable. So we believe that it's a winery with changing depending the light of the day, the time of the day, if it's warm or dry, if it's humid, well, so, and we believe that it's what probably make it very nice. And we keep all this fresh water, which is deep, 12 meters deep in the soil from the rain. We keep all the rainwater in a big bassin, right? To make natural air condition.
Yeah.
And with a Venturi effect, with the wind, because as you may know, we have a lot of Mistral where we are living. So we kept the wind from the north going down in the water container and bring back by a Venturi effect fresh air to air condition the cellar naturally. And because, well, you know that we keep a lot of bottles of all vintages, and we need to save our baby in the best condition. And this process really helping to keep all these bottles for the future.
Yeah, anyone who is interested in seeing some pictures, I wrote a blog about a year ago after I got back from Beaucastel with pictures of the building. It's stunning.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good article to read. Absolutely.
um, so you were out at Tablas this year to work on blending with us. When was the last time you were out here before that?
Well, that's a good question. It has been a long time before that. So I saw a lot of different. Yes, changed a lot. It's we don't have a week, maybe a day without talking about tablas. But that's true. That's before that. Well, again, I mean, my father used to come every day, every year. Sorry, with my brothers, and well, two Perrin was probably enough. But I was super excited, based in New York, to now be part of this blending and bring my experiences with the rest of the team and with you, and trying to, it has been yeah, very interesting for sure. Probably more than 10 years.
I wonder, was there anything that surprised you when you visited this year? Things, I mean, because we talk about Tablas. I know that you and your brothers and cousins and dad and uncle talk about Tablas also, but it's different talking about it and actually being in the place and feeling the place. And I'm wondering if there was anything that surprised you when you visited.
Well, of course, everything which has been done over there, I mean, the quality of the wines, but well, I've been tasting that for years. But well, probably, the freshness of all the variety now blending together, and the wide variety, which are um, doing exceptionally well. The consistency of every vintages, it's been we did like small vertical together. I remember it has been a long time that we didn't do that, even with the family. That was quite impressive. And well, still all the organic farming and sustainability things. That's, of course, is you can explain it, but when you see it, it's something unique. And I remember, well, when I went there, long times ago, well, nothing has changed, but everything has changed. Well, so well, it's the consistency, but with improvement, daily, but also more in Paso Robles. Also, at Paso Robles has been just talking about the city now. It's well, it's a city. It's not a village anymore, right?
I
So
still remember talking to your dad um, about this, and he was like, "Oh, do you remember when we used to stay at the Black Oak? Like the Best Western was the best hotel
yeah,
in town at the beginning of Tablas Creek, and so that was where he and Jean Pierre and my dad would stay when they came out."
yeah, that's big. I mean, it's a destination now, Paso Robles for sure.
Amazing. Okay, so we've been talking for half an hour. I can't believe that it has already been half an hour. It went
Yeah.
really. But I did want to ask, like, what do you have new projects that you're working on that you can share about, or what's coming next for you? What are you looking forward to in 2026?
Well, we always have a new project. I have no exclusivity to tell you today. I'm sorry, but well, we always try to, yeah, to think about what we can improve. I think, the new winery, it's a big part um, of the new process. And well, because at the end of the day, the new Beaucastel is also to make better wines. Because, again, we start these discussions that you always can learn something and you can always change a little bit. And while César, for example, which is really every day in Beaucastel now, well, the new winery really helping us to be more focused on every parcels and to pick every grape as the perfect ripeness. So now we are very much focused on that. Um, well, yes, this is a little bit the thing that we are working. We have few projects right in mind. While we are looking for. Of course, we are quite interested about, especially on La Vieille Ferme. I mean, trying to do a low alcohol with La Vieille Ferme. So we are launching a La Vieille Ferme on 9 degree percentage, which named Plume de la Vieille Ferme, which will come next year in US. So something lower in alcohol. And, still continue to innovate and to open our eyes to see how we can improve things and what will be the next steps.
I can't wait to find out. It really is true. Every year there's something. It's really cool, and it's admirable. It's not easy to both be real believers and lovers of tradition and continue to innovate. And it's something that I take as an inspiration, really, from getting to work with you and your family, is that real, like, reverence for tradition, and at the same time, like, relentlessly innovative in all sorts of ways.
Well, we do it for us mostly, because it bring, it bring curiosity and bring out daily exciting to have also always something new. Not most of the things that we are not launching, but we improve after by searching new things or trying on new project. We learn a lot from that, and we can apply in different wineries and in Beaucastel or whatever it is.
So cool. So how do people learn more about Famille Perrin, about Beaucastel, about Gardener Gin, all of the different things? How do people learn more?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a website? Like,
Yes, we just launched a new, if for people who are interested to have a look, we just launched a new website of Beaucastel where you will see all the picture. So you go to beaucastel.com, I think,
I think so.
and you will see all the new wineries. Please go to have a look, and you will have a good feeling about the innovation. And that's probably, of course, Instagram and everything show beautiful picture daily about what we do in the vineyard, in the cellar, and sometimes on the market. But yes, have a look on our new website.
Very cool. Amazing. Matthieu, thank you so much for spending a little bit of a Wednesday afternoon sharing your story. I look forward to seeing you in 2026, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and please give my best to all of your family.
Same to you. Thank you very much, Jason. Talk to you
Okay.
soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you all have a great holiday season planned. I will be back on the 7th of January. My first guest of the year will be Doug Frost, Master Sommelier and Master of Wine, the first ever to achieve those two accomplishments together. So have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, great New Year, and I'll see you in a few weeks.